Hey folks, Thack with AOK Urban Homestead, and today, well, we're gonna try and do a sourdough video. So folks, my wife's cousin Lindsay is very new to the sourdough thing, and I told her I would do a video for her. So you guys get to follow along. So you're going to hear me say, well, Lindsay, this is what you do next. And that's who it is. It's my wife's cousin. All right, guys. So what I have here is a little bit of discard from a friend of mine, Shirley. And so all I'm going to do to get this thing going is feed it. When I say feed it, I mean you're going to add flour and water. Okay, so this is the discard. If you wanted to start your own, like start from fresh, you would just start with half a cup of water and a half a cup of flour, and each day you would take out half and feed it. But anyways, ours is started, and I am only going to use what do I have here? A third cup. I added my third cup of flour and my third cup of warm water. And what this is going to do is it's going to give it something to eat so that it can start fermenting. That's what sourdough basically is fermented dough. So all I'm going to do is give it a quick, beautiful stir. And then I'm going to do this for 7 days. So, Lindsay, this is day 1. We'll come back to day 2. I guess I should show you, Lindsay, that I put a lid on. It's just a little plastic lid, but I don't put it on all the way tight, see? So it's just so that dust and dirt doesn't get in there. And I usually set it like in a warm spot in my kitchen, which happens to be the counter right by the stove, okay? Alright, so now it's day 2, and all you're going to do is you're going to stir it up. You're going to remove your half or whatever you want to remove. I'm removing half of what's in here. And so this is the starter that you either give away to somebody else or you throw it away. I don't have anyone that wants to do sourdough right now, so I'm just putting it in my compost. I am going to now feed it again and add my 1/3 cup of flour and water. Then I'm just going to stir it up again, just like that. Stir her up real well. And this is the same process I am going to do for 7 days. So now I'll come back in 7 days, okay? This is day 2, so I'll come back in 5 more days. All right, Lindsay, or everyone, the sourdough is ready. So now we're going to go to what all we need to get the bread prepped. All right, so here is the sourdough. You see how it's all bubbly? Ready to be used. So there you go. We need 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of warm water. We're going to use 3 teaspoons of yeast, a tablespoon of honey, a half teaspoon of salt, and then, sorry, this is my flour, but 4 cups of flour. But I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do. First, we're going to prep our yeast. We're going to start with our tablespoon of honey. And this is why I use warm water, so the honey can dissolve easier. And if you have more than 1 tablespoon, it's okay, because it's going to just be your yeast feeder. So you're going to need 3 teaspoons of yeast, I'm going to stir this up, and then we'll come back in 5 to 10 minutes when the yeast is all bubbly. Okay? Alright, Lindsay. I already put 3 cups of flour in here. And if you look at the yeast, it's all nice and foamy. So that means it's activated, right? So, like I said, I put 3 cups. You're going to need 4 cups. But what I'm going to do is slowly go ahead and introduce everything to this. You want this on low. I'm going to put the yeast in there first. Nope, I'm missing some honey there, which is fine, right there. Alright, the yeast went in. I'm going to go ahead and put my butter in now. This is soft, so make sure it's soft. Alright, now I will add the salt. Then I will go ahead and add 1 cup. I'm going to stir it up. So shut that off for a minute. So this is only a half cup measuring cup, so that's why I'm doing it twice. Making it a total of 1 cup. Now, what you can do now is you can go ahead and feed your starter. You can feed your starter now. You've taken 1 cup out and it's gone down, so you can feed it. Or you can seal it up and put it in the fridge and let it just rest for weeks at a time if you're not going to make more bread. If you're going to make more bread, feed it and then make bread the next day. It's as simple as that for your starter, okay? I am not going to make any more bread, so I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for now. So I'm going to let this do its thing. After about a couple minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add more flour. Alright, see how doughy it is? I am going to go ahead and add my last cup of flour, and then we'll see if we need more after about 10 minutes. So my mixer did not like how thick this dough was, so I'm just going to hand knead for a couple minutes until, well, I'm going to show you until what? See it? Can you kind of see that? The stretch there? That's a beautiful stretch. So I'm just going to let it keep going for another few seconds since I stretched it out like that. See how beautiful it is? Beautiful. Alright, so in here, I'm going to just put some olive oil, rub it with my hands. And this is what I'm going to store it in. You can put cellophane on top. I actually have a lid. Then I'm going to put this in my oven with the light on, which makes it a perfect temperature for my sourdough to rise. We're going to let it rise for at least 2 hours. Alright, so this dough has been rising for 2 hours. And what we're going to do, you see how it's kind of falling apart? We're going to knead it again. We're going to knead it again. So all I'm going to do is I'm basically going to fold it into itself. because I'm also shaping my dough at the same time. Now some people are a lot better at this than me, because I'm actually going to fold it one more time and then I'm going to knead it again. Oops, wrong way. And when you knead, you're kind of just folding her back into herself, okay? And that's almost right. So now, all I'm going to do is pinch my ends in. Here, I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to pinch my ends in, like that. So, I'm going to keep kneading her until she's in. Then I'm going to take my bread pan, and I have an extra wide thanks to Susan. I'm going to just make sure I have enough oil in there to coat this so that way when it's rising again, it won't stick. Alright, so I'm going to put this here so I know my measurement here. So, slowly just put it in. So her bread pan that she loaned me has a lid, which I'm going to use only because I'm going to put it back in the oven to proof again. And you're going to proof this until it's there, like until it hits the top. Because I like my loaf over. Alright, so we're going to go put it in the oven for half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, something like that. Alright, so as you can see, it's almost level. So I'm going to leave the lid on. I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. So I know that not all people have a bread pan like this. So my suggestion is if you don't and you want a loaf, right? Just one of those like artisan looking loaves. You will let that first rise, that 2 hours in here. And then when you turn it out to do the second rise, you'll line this not with oil, but with parchment paper, okay? So that way after your second kneading, you'll put your dough back in here for the second rise, all right? And then you will preheat your Dutch oven inside there. But when you preheat your Dutch oven, you're going to have to preheat the Dutch oven and the lid. That will give you a really nice crust. And then what you'll just do is you'll lift the whole parchment paper and everything, put it in your Dutch oven, then put the lid on. Let me tell you, it works beautifully that way. But I am actually doing this because I'm out of sandwich bread. All right, 375. Time to put this in the oven. All right, guys, so the timer's gone off. I've taken it out. Let's look at it. This is very hot, so be careful. This is why I love this pan. You guys see how nice and uniform it is? Well, anyways, let's hope it turns out fine. All right, let's hope I don't burn myself here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. It came out so beautifully. Boom. You guys, look at that. So we're going to come back after it cools a little bit, and we're going to slice into this, and I'm going to show you how beautiful this turns out. Alright guys, so it has cooled. I am going to do my best to cut this down so that you guys can see it. Oh man, the crust. And there you guys have it. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, oh yeah, it smells so wonderful. Alright guys, I'll be right back. All right, folks, I'm just going to sit down and have my sourdough bread as a hamburger bun. I absolutely love burgers, and this is the hamburger meat that we got from our cow. Guys, this version of the sourdough bread that I made had yeast in it. There's other kinds that does not use yeast. So sometimes people say this is not a true sourdough just because it uses yeast. But to me, it still has a little bit of sourdough taste to it. So it works. I'm going to do another video where I don't use any yeast at all coming up next. So I went ahead and fed that half of the starter. If you don't have that bread pan that I had today, I'm going to show you another way using a Dutch oven and no yeast at all. This is going to take a little bit longer, so that's why I'm going to do it in a separate video. This video was basically for Lindsay, and it was the basics of sourdough, okay? So the next video, Lindsay, will be a little bit more just sourdough, no yeast, the whole longer process and everything. So I hope you guys like this video. Lindsay, I hope you like this video. If you're new to the channel, I hope you guys subscribe. If you've been following me through the years, I want to say thank you so much. Folks, stay blessed and be A-OK.